This is the Luckeep Electric Bike, and when you see it, what stands out right away is the bold, sturdy, and modern look. It just screams adventure, but also seems practical enough for everyday rides. When I first got my hands on this bike, to be honest, I had a mix of excitement and a bit of worry. Not every folding e-bike actually delivers on its promises, especially with such big claims about speed and power. But after spending real time with it, I want to give you my quick review and share my honest experience using it as someone who commutes, does grocery runs, and just loves hitting the trails on the weekends. Key features you're probably interested in. The Luckeep Electric Bike has a 1500-watt peak power motor, which basically means you get a ton of power when you need it, even though its standard output is about 750 watts. This boost makes climbing steep hills or accelerating from a stop feel easy and strong rather than sluggish or forced. During my rides, whether I was heading up a city hill or tackling some rougher off-road stretches, the motor never felt like it was lagging or overheating for that matter. I was genuinely surprised by how steady and consistent the experience was, especially since some e-bikes struggle with heat and drop in performance when you push them too hard. Something that really sold me was the range. The Luckeep comes with a 48-volt 15Ah, that's 720 watt-hour, battery that's fully removable. You can charge it right on the bike or take the battery inside, which for me is a huge plus because lugging the whole bike inside isn't always an option. In my experience, on pedal assist mode, you're looking at something close to 60 miles per charge if you're riding in normal conditions, mixing flat roads and little hills. If you go pure electric with the throttle, the range drops a bit, which is normal, but it's still really respectable. I found I could get through a whole work week of commutes before needing to recharge. Speaking of pedal assist, let me break that down if you're new to e-bikes. Pedal assist is when the bike senses you're pedaling and gives automatic motor support, making pedaling much easier, especially on hills or headwinds. The Luckeep offers several levels of pedal assist, so you can tailor how much help you want, or go full throttle if you're feeling lazy or tired. Honestly, as someone who sometimes likes to be fully powered and sometimes enjoys exercising, this flexibility is perfect. Now, about the folding feature. This was one area I was unsure about. So many folding e-bikes are either fiddly or feel unstable after a few weeks. But the Luckeep folds down nicely, the latch is secure, and it feels safe when unfolded and locked into place. The fold size is compact enough to fit into an SUV trunk or even in my home's hallway closet. The bike weighs about 70 pounds, which isn't feather light, but I could lift and load it into a car without much trouble. Just a heads up, if you're not used to heavier bikes, it's good to be prepared for the weight, but compared to others in its class, it's totally manageable. The ride quality is where the Luckeep starts to really separate itself. These 20 by 4-inch fat tires aren't just for looks. They make a real difference on sand, snow, or even bad city roads. I took this bike on some gravel tracks and it just ate up the bumps, even when I hit the occasional curb or pothole. The front suspension fork has about 80 millimeters of travel, which just means it can absorb a lot of shock, so the ride was much smoother than I expected, especially compared to my regular commuter bike. The seat, too, is super comfortable, wide and soft enough that even longer rides didn't leave me aching. On safety and convenience, you get hydraulic disc brakes, which give you really strong stopping power. You don't have to worry about being caught out in the rain or needing to brake suddenly. These brakes do the job, wet or dry. There are front and rear lights built in, plus left and right turn signals, so I always felt visible to cars and other riders, even during night rides. The rear brake light and turn signals are especially useful. Not a lot of bikes in this price range have those, and it just makes a huge difference if you ride in traffic. The display on the Luckeep is large, bright, and easy to read. I get real-time info like battery level, current speed, trip mileage, and which pedal assist level I'm using. There's also a USB port right under the screen, which means I could charge my phone on longer rides. Talking about the user interface, it takes a minute to get used to if you're new to e-bikes, but the controls, plus and minus buttons for assist level, headlight switch, a decent horn, are straightforward. There's even a decent phone mount included, which is super handy for navigation. Security features set this bike apart as well. The Luckeep includes NFC Smart Access, which means you unlock the bike with a special key card or with your phone if it has NFC. This is a big step up from old-school keys. Plus, there's an anti-theft alarm that goes off if someone tries to move the bike without unlocking it. In busy city settings, that's a big peace of mind, and I tested it. It's pretty loud and attention-grabbing. For anyone who's ever worried about leaving their e-bike outside, This is something you'll really appreciate. From my experience, the setup was a breeze. The Luckeep arrives mostly assembled, so I only needed to add the front wheel, handlebars, pedals, and do a quick safety check. The instructions actually have useful pictures, something I wish was standard with bike manuals. They even included decent tools, so I didn't have to dig around my garage. Who is this bike for? In my opinion, it's perfect for city commuters who want comfort and peace of mind, but also love the thrill of acceleration and want a bike for off-road and weekend adventures. It easily handled my weekday trips, grocery hauls, and then let me hit the local trails or even some beach rides on the weekends. I'd recommend this for anyone who wants a practical e-bike but doesn't want to sacrifice power or comfort. If I had any initial hesitation, it was about the weight and the tech features. At 70 pounds, it's heavier than a traditional bike and can be a lot if you live in a walk-up apartment. You also get app controls, which let you adjust ride settings and check battery status from your phone. While I found it pretty easy to use, I could see how someone brand new to smart devices might need a little practice. But after a couple of rides, it all clicks. I do want to mention the fat tires. They're awesome for stability and traction, but you'll notice more resistance if you try to ride with the motor turned off, especially compared to a standard thinner tire bike. For me, I almost never ride fully unpowered, so it's not a deal breaker, but it's something to keep in mind if you're planning to use it as a regular pedal bike often. Maintenance has been simple so far. For e-bikes, keep the chain oiled, the tire pressure up, and check the brakes and bolts every few weeks. Battery life seems strong, and the BMS, battery management system, means you don't have to worry about deep discharging or overcharging. It's built to last, and the battery is easy to take on and off. In conclusion, the Luckeep Electric Bike has really impressed me. It's a great mix of power, comfort, tech, and safety. If you've been on the fence about getting a folding e-bike for commuting, errands, or just for fun, this one is worth considering. The blend of strong motor performance, long battery life, foldability, and thoughtful safety features make it stand out. As someone who needed a bike for both city riding and weekend escapes, I honestly feel like it hits the sweet spot between fun and practical. Check the comments of this video for a link to see the current pricing of the Luckeep Electric Bike. Thank you for watching.